After assertiveness, I have bargaining. Since you are in business, the rule of the business is everybody wants to be the winner. The rule of the sales and purchases, everybody wants to be the winner. The person who is selling, he wants to be the winner. The person who is purchasing also wants to be the winner. Okay? Now, who wins depends on the level of bargaining capability or skill a person has. That is one very personal skill. Bargaining. You bargain. This bargain is what? Bargain is something like this. Sometimes the word negotiation can be used as synonymously for bargaining. But bargaining I am using as a very clear term which is found in everyday life. You bargain over something. That means you are trading off. You have just gone to a clothes store, an object was shown to you, you liked it, and the price was told, and you are not ready to pay that price. Even if you feel the price is right, yet you would like to win by getting a little lesser rate. Then you bargain, and during bargain what happens is then you say, oh, it is 700, can it be lesser? Immediately the person, if he asks how much, you tell me, then you should immediately get an idea that the price is exactly not 700, because he gave you a clue how much you think. But if the person says no, there is no chance of bargaining, it's 700, take it or leave it, then you should understand the person is serious, so no bargaining. But there are some people, when they go for shopping, they have a tendency or habit of bargaining, because in our country the prices are so volatile, so flexible, it varies from one market to the other market on the same products unless branded. So we always feel that the price that has been tagged on the cloth is not the same one. There must be a hidden price at which he is ready to part with it. It is a common belief for which everybody bargains, tries to bargain. But I can tell you, if you keep on bargaining, if the bargaining becomes a culture of the marketing, then every time the price is not realistic. Okay? But if the market is based on bargaining, then you should also have a skill of bargaining. You should be able to sense or judge by looking at the product, is it worth the price or should it be lesser? And then if you feel seriously, honestly, it should be lesser, then you start bargaining. The bargaining power is a very strong skill, not everybody has. Basically what happens, do you know, during bargaining there's a chance that you will be losing your self-respect, because the opponent is going to pass a remark which might show indignity to you. So quite often majority of the people don't like to bargain, because they think that if I bargain and the person gives up negative remarks, it will be hurting my self-respect. So it is better I don't take it. So bargaining power, but yet I would say bargaining power is a very strong skill. Behavior, overall behavior. I said amicable, but amicable is not the only part of the behavior. Overall means how you perform, how you enter, how you walk to the table, how do you draw your chair, how you sit, how you put your elbows, how you put your fingers, how you talk, how you address, how you greet, how you leave. Everything is a matter of behavior. I'll have a very detailed discussion on these aspects of it in my non-verbal communication chapter, because the behavior is going to be very, very important. You know what is the benefit of having a good behavior? You have gone to a client for some purpose, for business of course. You should have such behavior which should be imprinted in his mind, and throughout he should feel, I am so happy to meet a person, though he sold me a thing, I have parted with my money, I gave him the money, I took the object, but I like the person. And if the person likes you because of your good behavior, whether there is future business or not, you become friends. And if you become friends, then there will be more amount of referrals. If that client's friend asks for an object and which you can deliver, then immediately you should take it for granted that your name will be referred. So good behavior is a good prospect of referrals for future. And business is not done in only one day, one shot. Business is the system of the life. It will go on for future. It goes on years after years. So good behavior, even if you could not sell, you left the room saying, sorry sir, I'm not being able to match your expectations in terms of quality, or the person says, sorry, I cannot buy it because I cannot accept your price. So you are leaving, but leave in such a manner that there should be a good impression of the behavior, good behavior. And that good behavior, you do not know, maybe after 10 years, you'll get a call from the same person saying, that time you could not do business, can we start again? This is how it is, okay? Calculative. Many people use this term negatively. Many people, I've heard my friends says, you know, that friend is very calculative. What is calculative? He is basically trying to estimate. Estimate what? He is estimating the situation. He is judging the situation. He is estimating the damages. He is estimating the benefits. Calculative. Be calculative. Don't just get carried away by this wave. You try to understand that, okay, try to calculate. If I do this, then this will have an effect like this, then this, then this. If you don't calculate, then how do you project? Without projection, no business can run. So for projection, you have to really calculate. And this calculative nature is very important. You may learn it, and sometimes you may imbibe it. Calm and cool. I consider calm and coolness, it helps you to develop your good behavior. It makes you amicable. Be calm, be cool, don't be tensed. Even if the person who is sitting opposite is passing a very bad remarks on your product or on your company or on your service or on yourself, be calm, cool. You know, being calm and cool settles the situation. It does not aggravate. What is the contrary to it? You become agitated. And if you become agitated, the whole situation goes out of bounds, out of control. So you have no chance of having any business in future. If you are calm and cool, then quite often a wrong proposition or poor proposition or poor offering, you can handle it. Be calm. Not necessary every time for any business that you go, you'll be successful. Not necessary. But if you are calm internally, then you know that you can tackle it, you can handle it. Calm and coolness is a strong point. Cautioned. Quite often I found that the cautioned, you know, if you become extra cautious, it is detrimental for business. The caution comes from judgment, and the judgment, if it is wrongly judged, then the caution becomes negative. But yet, caution should be there. It should be a good skill which you should have. This caution should be exercised with a lot of background research. Internally, say you should run, you should jump, you should meet, you should shake hands. Should you go forward? Should you initiate a discussion? Be cautious. Be cautious, and what you are judging? You are judging the person whom you are going to meet. Maybe the first time you are going to meet him. You don't know him. You might have some bit of background study. If you now have the background study, then you become cautious. Okay, I should not be speaking like this. I should not be, speaking on these issues. I should not hurt his ego. I should not hurt his sentiment. I should encourage him on this. I know about his business. So you are now becoming cautious how you are going to deal with it. So cautioned is a very strong personal skill. But I'll tell you, don't overdo it. If you be more cautious, extra cautious, you'll be losing your business. So this is a very sensitive point where you can simply be, I'll say undocked from the whole process of doing it. So caution is important, but use your caution skill with caution. Comforting, going for business, because we are discussing about the soft skill for business. Create a sense of comfort to your client. Here, since I'm discussing all the soft skills for business negotiation, there are two sides of it. In the business negotiation, You may be on the receiving side or you may be on the giving side. Okay? Now, in which side you are, depending on that, this situation has to be worked out. For all these points which I am saying, your whole actions or your all the skill sets will be nurtured or activated depending on the situation, whether you are on the interviewer side or you are on the interview side. Are you giving the interview, facing the interview, or are you taking the interview? But in both cases, comfort is very important. Usually what happens is, when you are entering an interview board, the interviewer creates a feeling of comfort in you. The moment you feel comfort, then you open up more. But sometime, if suppose you are given a kind of reactions which is creating a discomfort in you, you will find many things you knew, many questions the answer you knew, but it does not come out because you are feeling a discomfort. Just the opposite. The person who is answering to you, you are the interviewer, person who is answering to you, he is making the answer in such a manner that you are feeling uncomfortable. So the comfort in a business is a very important thing. Both the groups, the receiver and the giver, both should feel highly comforted in the whole process. And that is why nowadays, whenever we give a contract, a letter of contract, we sometimes synonymously use this as letter of comfort. That means I am giving a letter to undertake this work on our behalf, for which you will be paid so much. This letter which I am giving you is a letter of comfort, which makes our interaction and the deal comfortable. So the comforting is another skill. Commitment, it goes without saying, anything that you do, sense of commitment must be there within you. Not only a sense of commitment should be within you, you should demonstrate the commitment. If the commitment is not demonstrated, then people will not realize or understand that you are really committed. By this, you have to show that you are committed to it. Then compassionate. When do you use this term or this skill? If you find that you have your client who needs it badly but can't afford, or who needs it badly, can't afford the full payment right now, then you are selling. If you be compassionate, what you can offer him is, okay, are you buying? If you are buying, you cannot pay the full amount now? All right, you pay in 2-3 installments. You know what you have done. Two things you have done. By asking him or suggesting him to pay in 2-3 installments, you have first created you have done it out of compassion. You knew that this person needs it. He doesn't have the money now, but he needs it badly. So if I give him and wait for a few months for the other installments to come, I don't lose much. But this person gains and he gets the product, starts using it. And you have done it out of compassion, thinking that his bank balance is not fully loaded with the amount that he is supposed to pay at this moment. So you tell him, okay, don't pay entirely, pay this much now, pay in 2 other installments. That is out of compassion. But what you have created, you have comforted him. He got a very strong comfort. Oh my, I'm very happy. At least I have the product. I can start using it. And he gave me 3 installments. I'll pay it. And the installments, when you are working it out, there will be a little bit of interest added with it. So that additional money he doesn't mind paying afterwards. But at this moment, he cannot pay the full amount. So your compassion worked for him. You made him also comfortable. And since your compassion worked, you made him comfortable. I can assure you, in future, if he wants to buy another thing, he'll come to you only, nobody else. This is how the whole business goes. So when you are trying to sell something, when you are trying to push something, when you are trying to buy something, these issues will come. So compassion, if you exercise, which gives comfort to the person, it is also indicating one more thing, that you are committed to deliver an object to the client. So if you now see the entire thing, I'll have many more points, but before that, let me just summarize on these issues in this. When you are being compassionate, I'm just taking the clue from all these terms I've used in this slide. So the slide is very important. Watch all the words. You are being compassionate to give him the delivery. You are committed to give him. you have made a comfort in it. Be cautious that he is ready to pay. Be cautious that he is going to pay. Ensure that he is going to pay, for which quite often we take post-dated checks. You may be compassionate, you may comfort the client, but the thing is, you have to get a guarantee for your own company. Otherwise, your company bosses will not leave you. They will, or else you have to make n number of calls to your bosses or the head offices to find out, can you give in installments. So basically, why you are doing it? You are cautioned. Okay, and when you are thinking about the whole thing, you are basically calmly you are thinking. You are cool in your mind, so you are envisaging the entire consequences of giving him an offer of paying in installments. Do you understand how everything falls in place? And here I'll add, how could you be calculative? You calculated that this price is this. If he pays in 3 installments, if I get the full payment today, then what is the value of this 3 months after? And if I get the money or the payment in 3 installments, then what is the amount that I am losing by interest? And that is you are calculating. You are calculating immediately. Okay, how it is done. Your behavior is such that that person is feeling comfortable to even suggest or request you, can you give me in installments? Okay. You bargained. You said, yes, I will give you. I'll give you in this, but you have to pay in 3 installments. Do you see that? But don't be assertive. Don't push him to buy it. If he says, I cannot buy, you don't push him. You don't say, no, you have to buy. You don't say, no, you have to pay right now. Don't be assertive on that. So when you are doing this, all these will keep on falling in place, and practice it. Whatever I am saying here, please practice it in your personal life. Wherever you are going, try with a small scale. You'll find one day all these points will make you reach a higher scale. Other sets, computer literacy. See, this has come alphabetically. So I have no control over it. It will come alphabetically. In today's context, when you are going for a business, people have a respect who is strong in computer literacy. How much computer literacy? You don't have to be a programmer, a coder. You at least know how to run a computer, how to handle a computer. You must know. In today's date, if you say, I don't know. In fact, like I have never learned. I was in the business, I was in the marketing, so I did not really practice computer, so I'm not good at it. That does not help you. Rather, it becomes negative. So computer literacy is very essential. Learn the basics. How to use the operating system, how to use a laptop, how to use a desktop. Quite often I have seen the person who has come for sale, he wants to say, he did not carry any laptop or iPads. He says, actually we have the product which is in our net. Then the client says, can you show me the product? Then the person says, yes, I can, but the thing is I don't have a hard copy. No, if it is in the net, why don't you show it? No, I can show, but the thing is I'm not very good at accessing nets. Bad. It's absolutely negative. What you should do is immediately say, okay, do you have a system? Can I have an access to it? Would you please open it for me? Then I'll just go to the net and show you the entire thing. Quickly you show the whole thing, and the person gets impressed that this person is so much computer literate that it doesn't matter whether he is carrying any hard copy of it or books, but he is showing me everything. In today's date, in the network business, when the entire gamut of business is in the cloud, computer literacy is must. Competitiveness, must have. This skill you must have. If you are not competitive, then you will not do your business, because every day the competitiveness or your competitors are growing in multiples exponentially. You know what happens? Let me explain to you. Suppose you have innovated one kind of business, anything. Till the time you have brought it to the market, nobody knows. Once you have brought it to the market, you got few clients, and naturally you are excited to tell your friends also and others also that, look, this is what is the product we have brought in the market. We are the first to bring in the market. But I'll tell you, the moment you feel also that you are the first in the market, then you must immediately know you have created a second in front of you. You are the first. That does not ensure that there will not be followers. The person who heard from you and heard the success story of yours for something which you have been first, you have done it first, that gentleman immediately calculates that, okay, if it is doable, if this person could do it, I could also do it. If I cannot do it, maybe I'll collaborate with somebody and who can do it. The point is, you thought that you are the first and you thought you will be ruling over the entire market, but I'm telling you, the moment you have told that you have done this, immediately you have created your competitor sitting in front of you. And that gentleman also knows that once he also does, there will be a third, there will be a fourth, there will be a fifth. Just look at the Paytm and all other things. Look at the online businesses, online shopping. There must have been somebody who is first. But the thing is, competitiveness has grown because when somebody found, well, there's a big market, the company who has initiated this particular business, he cannot access the entire gamut of the market customers. So if I play in competition, then I will only make a certain share of the market segment. So he doesn't really lose it, but I gain it because I was in zero, now I'll have few share of this market. So this is what the competitiveness must be there. Competitiveness, take it as a positive. Always think that if you are doing something, there is a competitor. If there is a competitor, then your sense will always trigger you to feel that if there is a competition, I must also win. Otherwise, what happens is that gentleman will supersede me. I'll not name, you know, look at the market for online shopping and see what is the neck-to-neck competitions are going on. Look at the market of wallets, pay wallets. What is the neck-to-neck competition that is going on? I've heard some people saying that I'm in the business for 5 years on this, pay wallets thing, but I haven't made any profit as yet. 5 years, and they have, millions of rupees in their turnover, but no profit. That means the cost has been met. Of course, there is some profit, but the thing is, this competitiveness must be understood. Okay. Then consciences. This is very, very intrinsic. Your conscience must be very, very clear, and conscience should be positive. Whatever you are doing. An example that I'll tell you. Suppose you don't have any job, and there was an advertisement by a company who is selling a product and who is looking for a salesperson, and you have no job, you applied and you got it. And the product that he is trying to sell is detrimental to the human health. May happen. Take cigarette as an example. Take any other such items as an example. Suppose you have been asked to sell the cigarettes. There is a mandatory warning given. Your conscience is saying that smoke or don't smoke. Why the mandatory warning is there? Because the whole world thinks don't smoke. It causes cancer and many other things. Okay, because that's why the mandatory warning and all the TV ads we are seeing every day. What your conscience is saying? If your conscience is saying that smoking is injurious to health, then are you selling the cigarettes? Are you going for selling the cigarettes? This is what is the consciences, the conscience that matters. Point is, still the products are being sold, still the companies are manufacturing it, the shops are running, and the trade promotion organizations of the government is allowing with limits, with some cautions, isn't it? The point is, you decide. That is very, very internal. You decide. Should you be doing it? Should you be doing this? Should you be selling something which is injurious? Should you be selling something which is poisonous? So your conscience will decide. I have no guidance on this. You have to decide. Conversation. I'll have more discussion. There is a large discussion on conversation in following lectures, not in today's lecture. How you converse, how you communicate, it makes a lot of difference. Your conversation skill has many points. Your conversation skill can win you. Your conversation nature may ruin you. The way you are speaking. You are speaking to whom? A public, a group of, a mob. You are speaking to an individual. You are speaking to your friend. So conversation skill is important. So there is an art of conversation. So I will cover this in detail. Conversation is basically when you are talking to somebody else. There is nothing called self-conversation. There has to be a conversation like you are saying something, you are hearing something. So this conversation back and forth is important. And there is a wonderful set of, I won't say rules, some guidance which I will deal with in a very specific set of lectures. Then convincing. If you have the convincing skill, how do you convince people? Sometimes you may sell a product which is not required for him, but you convince him in such a manner he thinks it is. You convince him. So convincing is a skill. How do you convince? How you use it for positive or negative. Sometimes somebody requires a medicine, but he is not ready to take the medicine. You sell the medicine to him by convincing. It is positive convincing. Sometimes somebody doesn't require a product. It's not having any utility to him, but you convince him that he has the utility and sell him. I would say it's a negative. But however, in business, everything goes on. Critical thinking is your internal. Every item, every object, every situation, every opportunity, you think critically. Don't be loose in thinking, because thinking is something which is going to guide you. Be critical. That critical thinking is a skill that is intrinsic. What is the critical thinking about? You are analyzing it. Analyze the situation, analyze the benefits, or analyze its pitfalls, analyze its negatives, but be critical. Think critically. Any issue, a suggestion given by your subordinate, think critically. Don't be a superior don't say, oh, you are my subordinate, how can you give me a suggestion like this? If he has given you a suggestion, if he says, sir, actually I think, though you are the decision maker, but this point has these issues. Don't immediately say you don't have to talk about it because you don't have the authority of talking about it, so you leave. Don't do that. Take his points, think critically, and then make a judgment, because ultimately you are the decision making authority. No issue, but think critically. Decision making is one where many people falter. They cannot take decisions. I have met many people in my life who could not take the right decision in the right time. They took the decision, maybe sometimes wrong decision at one point of time, sometimes could not even decide. Quite often it has happened that where suppose I am a party to it, then I take a decision, though I am not authorized. My superior is supposed to take a decision, but he cannot take the decision for whatever reason. He is not being able to decide. So decision making is one. And nowadays in decision making, actually there are lots of analytical tools have come up. You know why those analytical tools have come up? Because any decision that you take based on your soft skill can be questioned. It can be questioned. What is the reason? How did you arrive at it? Why you are taking this kind of decision? In a meeting, in the corporate meetings, in the office meetings, in any academic discussions, if you take a decision, then you can be questioned. That justify your decision. It is quite logical, and that's why all those analytical tools have come, supported by lots of statistical tools and techniques, and people are taking decisions, and now they are saying, okay, we agree. When they agree to the decision, when they cannot refute the decision, when they don't have sufficient amount of data or sufficient amount of background analysis to say that this decision is not right, then they say agree to the decision, because our mathematics, our statistics, our facts and figures, our analytical tools are forcing us to take a decision. But this decision making what I am talking about is personal skill, soft skill. Take a decision. Your friend comes, an example let me tell you, you have to go to meet a client. At that point of time, a friend has come from some long distance. You are meeting after 20 years. He comes and lands up at your home and says, come on, I've come after so many years from a long distance, and you just simply cannot defer your appointment with the client. It's a tough decision, whether you can take it. What should be your decision? I don't know. That you have to decide. Which one is a priority? It's meeting a client or meeting a friend whom you are meeting after 20 years. Decision making is your own forte. But anything that you are doing, if you think critically, then decision making becomes easier. Then defensive. On many situations for sales and marketing and business, you have to be defensive. Means defensive is what? Basically self-protect. You protect from the situation which is likely to arise. You be defensive. Somebody makes a wrong proposition in terms of dealing. Somebody makes a wrong offer in terms of negotiation. You be defensive. But my suggestion is never give a sense or let the opponent sense that you are becoming defensive. That's your personality. Internally be defensive. Externally be proactive in discussion. But your whole game plan, your negotiation skills or your entire communications will be guarded by the defense. Okay? So be defensive in the mind. Diligence. Any work you do, diligence is essential. Everything should be done rightfully. This diligence is important. And we use a term called, very commonly we are using this technically, due diligence. That means what is required, the rightfulness of the action that you are taking. Use diligence. Okay, I will go further on several other points.